I know Allegri, of course, so be careful what you say, Christian. Okay, so as you said, he's a very calm guy and everything, but every so often he gets mad and he tears off his have you seen him tear off his jacket?
Yeah.
You know, what impact on you guys? Or you might say, whoa, the big guy is mad. You know, what effect does that have on you guys?
He's very passionate. He's very passionate. I think he's got that. That's a very Italian quality, I would say, as well, which I love. You want to play for a guy like that? Of course, you want to play for a guy that you run through a wall for. I think that's what makes a really strong coach. So it gives us energy.
Amici sportivi, benvenuti ad una nuova puntata di Storie di Serie A da coach Dan Peterson. E il nostro ospite oggi, niente meno che la nuova stella del Milan, Christian Pulisic. Christian, welcome to the show. Okay, we talked just a second ago. Pulisic or Pulisic, either way, it's okay with you. Okay,
yes, so I'm good with both.
What's the biggest difference that you found in playing here in Italy and playing elsewhere?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I think I've learned a lot from a tactical perspective of the game.
Yes.
I've learned a lot in Italy, facing different teams, the way they defend, how we're going to defend, just the systems and different ways of playing football. I think I've learned a lot in that aspect coming to Italy.
You know, I'm an American like you, mostly of Northern European ancestry, you know, but after you live in Italy for a while, you become Italianized. You know, has this happened to you? Do you feel more Italian now than you were when you got here?
Yeah, I think so. I think you definitely adapt a little bit to the lifestyle. I enjoy it a lot. I also have, Italian grandmother, so yes, so I've always been a little bit Italian, and now I feel even more so.
Yeah, nothing like the attachment, you know. Mm-hmm. So, of course, when you come to Italy, we Americans, we have to talk about food. Okay, so McKinney said that his favorite pasta dish was with pesto, the Genovese sauce, and chicken fillet, which is not a dish here in Italy.
Right.
What about you? Do you have a favorite dish?
Yeah, it's funny. If you asked me when I was growing up, I would have told you like chicken parm, spaghetti and meatballs. But then you come here and it's a whole different thing. Man, it's tough to choose for me for my favorite dish. I love a simple carbonara. I think is like
we're spaghetti alla carbonara.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that.
Hard to beat that. And as you may know, there's a strict recipe. If you vary from that recipe, then it's not official. So they're pretty tough on this. What about your nicknames? Sometimes we like nicknames. Some of you, they call you Capitan America. You're a guy from America. So someday you might be Captain of Milan. What about that?
Yeah, it's a funny nickname. I mean, the Europeans love to throw it around when I'm the only American around.
Yes.
Captain America. So I find it funny. Yeah, we'll stick with Captain America for now. We'll see where that goes.
What about when you were growing up, as a young kid? Did you have an idol or a role model in soccer, football that you followed? Maybe in the USA, maybe in Europe, maybe in the world, someplace?
Yeah, I think I had a few. I think as far as the U.S. national team, I always looked up to. Clint Dempsey was one of my favorite players.
Yes,
he inspired me a lot watching him in the World Cups. I wanted to be like him. I loved the way his attitude, the way he went about the game.
Yes.
I liked a lot. And then also across Europe, there was so many players I watched. I mean, some of my favorites: Wayne Rooney, I loved Luis Figo.
Yes.
And then, of course, Messi as well. I saw him early in his career. It was just amazing.
Those guys are geniuses. Now, as you know, or you may know, I used to coach basketball here in Milan. As a matter of fact, started out in Bologna and then coached in Milan. Mm-hmm. How about you? Are you a basketball fan?
I am. I played so much basketball growing up.
Really?
With my friends. Yeah, a lot actually. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta take you in hand when we'll go to see Olympia. My former team here in Milan, and They have a very good team this year. They're kind of like you.
I would love that.
Yeah, they're kind of like Milan in the sense that they're a lot of quickness, a lot of youth. Excellent coach and everything. So when you have time, I'm gonna take it. We're gonna go. What about your time here in Milan? You have played with Chelsea and so forth. You probably needed some time to adjust. You score a certain number of goals, but you've topped that already here at AC Milan in half the time. What happened? You made a jump. I mean, you were already a good player, but then you made a jump, and that's very hard. How did you do that?
Yeah, I think I always trusted, even when I had some tougher times in London. I think I always trusted that these chances, these moments would come for me, and I came to a club who just immediately gave me that opportunity, gave me the confidence, the trust from the coaches, from the fans, from my teammates. I felt that right from the start, and I think when you're able to play a little bit freer, you have that trust. It says a lot.
You said the two words that are key: trust and confidence. You have to believe in yourself and your teammates, and that you can do it. And so you're making progress now. But you've had 4 different coaches here with Milan, and yet you've been able to maintain your level of play and your level. That's not easy. Some players, they go up with a new coach, some go down, but you've been able to keep on a level plane. That's mentality. What's your secret?
That's tough to say. I think I don't change my attitude and the way that I work. I think depending on which coach comes, I keep that very consistent.
Yeah.
I think I have a routine. The way I train, the way I take care of myself, that's what is most important to me. And I tell myself every day, what are the things that I can control? And that's what I try to focus on. And I think that's what's just led me to the, a little bit more consistency. And then of course I learn a lot and try to take in everything from each coach.
Yes.
And do the best I can for them. Yeah.
Good idea. Well, when I'm from Evanston, Illinois, just north of Chicago, and one of the things that our coach, I was just a little guy. I got cut from the football team. I got cut from the basketball. But what they told me was, if you stay with it, you're going to get a chance. And when I started coaching, I remembered that. And I said, give everybody a chance, and don't give them just one chance. They might stub their toe the first time. Let them know, if you make a mess of things, I still believe in you. And I realized that it's so important for a player to feel, like you said, that you have confidence in him, that you trust him, that you believe in him. If a player feels that from his coach, get out of that player's way. He's going to succeed, So, and what's it like? I know Allegri, of course. So be careful what you say, Christian. Okay, so and great coach. He won 5, one title here with AC Milan. He won 5 with Juventus. A very smart coach tactically. I think and I think also. This is me talking here. I shouldn't say anything, but I think of Allegri as a guy who sees the big picture. He's not gonna get lost in some small little detail. He's gonna say, "Hey, listen." So what's it like to play for a great coach like that?
Yeah, I think you said it. I think you can just feel the experience that he has, the way that he works within the team. I think he knows. How to bring the best out of his players, how to bring the best out of his team. I think that's really important with a coach. And he's been there before. I think he doesn't panic is something that I've noticed a lot about him. I think a lot of coaches, as an example, we lose our first game of the season. A lot of the guys they're pissed off in the locker room. But he has a calmness about him and says, we're working. This is our first game. We're going to get on the right path, and we're going to...
I read his comment. I did not see his interview, but I read his comments after that first game with Cremonese, and he said, we played well. We lost. We're going to go on. It was over.
Yeah.
And I think you have to do that. if you don't do that, your team is going to have ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I think, speaking for myself as a coach, and I think the hardest thing to do as a coach, the two things are hard. One is to get everybody to play as a team. And the other thing is to have everybody, every single game, with that same sense of urgency that you have. You can't say, we'll win next week. We got to win today. I don't want to hear about next week or last week if we won or lost. Today is what counts, And I think that, you have this, I can tell by the way, just talking to you, just listening to you, that you're a guy on an even keel, and you have equilibrium. You're not going to have any highs. You're not going to have any lows. You're going to be the same today as you were yesterday. That's important in a team. If you guys have that as a team, look out. You're going to be tough. You have to have a certain killer instinct. You have to say, give me that ball. When I coached the great Bob McAdoo, he's in the Hall of Fame now in basketball, Every time out, McAdoo would say, Coach, tell Mike, I had Mike D'Antoni was my point guard, tell Mike to get me, this guy can't guard me. Nobody could guard him, so he told me that every guy, but that's the kind of, give me the ball. I want the ball, and get it going. What about getting open? What is your secret with that? Do you start back and come forward? Do you start right and go left and go right? What is your goals? If you have a secret or a technique, what's your approach to this?
Yeah, it's funny. I think, soccer even being a little bit different than basketball as an example, it's far less like plays because the game is so free flowing. More playground. Yeah, for sure. I think there's definitely for sure in basketball, but even more so in soccer with just instinct. I think knowing where to be inside the box, because that's where all the goals are scored, understanding spaces and and just feeling it and trusting in yourself when you get in front of the goal. For me is, I guess, my secret. I don't think it's one certain movement. I think it's multiple, and it's just causing defenders problems.
One of the things I notice about the great soccer players, the great football players, you mentioned Messi before. I never see him force anything. If the defense is stopping, that's no problem. He just kicks the ball over to a teammate. What have you picked up from a guy like Messi? You said he was one of the guys you watched. Just that unselfishness. I'm not going to force a play and lose the ball to the other team. I'll wait. The ball will come back to me.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I think it's understanding the right times to take risks as well. I think what he does so well is there's times when you're feeling even more confident than others. Right now it's easy to talk about scoring goals. I've scored, a lot of goals this season, but there will be stretches when they don't come as easy. And you have to be ready for those moments. That doesn't mean that you stop trying, but you have to understand there's moments when you feel really confident. You're going to pull off this amazing pass. And then when there's other times when you're not and the team needs you to keep the ball and keep the ball moving and wait for the next opportunity, I think is also really important. And I think Messi just, he's a master of that. He knows when to take it himself. He knows when to provide for his teammates. His decision making is one of the best.
What about your new team? You have a couple of new teams like Salmakers and Rabiot. These guys are veterans. These guys have been around. They're experienced. They know how to win. What has been their impact on the team so far?
Yeah, it's been a really, really strong impact. When you get experienced players like that, the guys you listed, Luka, Modric as well. You bring.
I'll get to Modric in a second.
Yeah, well,
he's not getting away.
I thought you were just going to leave him out. No, but Alexis, like you said, Rabiot as well. These are guys that I knew of their quality before, but seeing them day in, day out, and seeing what they bring, and also the mentality they bring. Seeing Hadrian, the way he's running, the way he's working for coming into a new team and just sacrificing, the way he's defending, doing a lot of things. And obviously Alexis, what he's been bringing is amazing. So it's nice to have guys like that are really committed, team first guys.
You meant you stole Modric from me. Okay, so I'm coming back with it, I'm a big fan because I've been watching him for years with the Croatia, with the Real Madrid and so forth. And I consider him a sports genius. You know, a guy he has that. The light goes on. You know, he's unbelievable. And I think he's had an impact. What's it like to play with him?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, obviously my family are massive fans of him because I have the Croatian background.
Yes.
So they're huge. You know, my cousins named their dog Luca. You know, and I haven't even told him that. It's that important. It meant that much to my grandpa as well. I mean, you know, truly, just getting to work with him every day. Honestly, like everything that I kind of expected is what I got. I mean, I'm just doing as much as I can to learn from him.
Has he helped you?
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I talk to him a lot, and he probably doesn't even know it, but I'm watching him. I'm watching what he's doing. But it's true. I think when you get guys like that, you try to learn. You try to learn as much as you can. Because
it's like a free clinic.
Yeah, they've done it at the highest level so consistently for so long, and that's where I want to be.
I was talking to Allegri today, and I said, Coach, you got Moses. Keep an eye on him. He's gonna turn the lights on every so often, you know. So, and I had Mike D'Antoni as my point guard, you know, and the same thing. These guys, I got elected to the FIBA. That's the Basketball International Federation Hall of Fame, and I called Mike. I said, Mike, thank you, thank you for, you know, making it possible, you know, because those guys, they make us coaches look like coaches, you know. So I think you and Luke have got that. Coming back to Milan as a team, you know, you guys, I was there watching your practice today, you know, and I've seen your games, the highlights. Okay, I have not seen a whole game. I've not been to San Siro. But you know the word in American, swagger. You know, you have a bit of a different body language this year. You're exuding confidence. Do you feel that?
I think in a way, you know, we feel good, absolutely. But it's still so early on, I think, in the season.
We're in October.
Like we're not. I think it's also important because people want to talk really quick when we win a few games in a row, but I think the season isn't always. It's not linear. It doesn't just go positive all the time. So no. I think we're going to be tested in moments.
Yes.
And I think that's what's going to really define us this year. But absolutely, I think it's important to go into games with confidence, and I definitely feel something really good and confident within the team.
I love the way you guys are. I just love your body language this year, and I hope you can keep it up. Coming back to Allegri, he's as you said, he's a very calm guy and everything, but every so often he gets mad and he tears off his jacket. Have you seen him tear off his jacket?
Yeah.
Yep. Impact on you guys? Or you must say, whoa, the big guy is mad. You know, what effect does that have on you guys?
I mean, I think we see a coach that wants to win desperately.
Yes.
I think that's what that comes from. Of course, even he's not going to be wanting to do that a lot and get more red cards, but
there's a limit.
Yeah, there's a limit, but he's very passionate. He's very passionate. I think he's got that. That's a very Italian quality, I would say, as well, which I love. You want to play for a guy like that, of course. You want to play for a guy that you run through a wall for. I think that's what makes a really strong coach. So it gives us energy. I think obviously with the limit.
You don't win 6 national championships, you know, by chess.
Yeah.
They say you really like to play chess. How in the world did you get started playing chess?
Oh, I didn't expect that question. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. My grandfather taught me how to play actually when I was growing up. He played all the time. He had a little chessboard. And me and my cousin Will would try to play against him, 2 against 1, and he would kill us every time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what sparked it. And then, 5-6 years ago, there was kind of a chess boom again. I think there was like a series that came out, and everyone started playing chess. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to get back into this. And
I was a little bit the same when, you know, Bobby Fischer, this is a long time ago, and the great Russian stars were big. You know, I followed, then I kind of lost interest. But now this guy Magnus Carlsen kind of brought me, this invincible guy who's just showing up at the last minute and blowing guys away. You know, what's going on here?
Yeah, I got to meet him in London actually.
No, really?
Magnus, yeah, and yeah, we actually played on a chessboard together.
Get out of here!
It's embarrassing to play against him. I mean, after 7 moves, he's like, "You lost." I was like, What do you mean you haven't taken any of my pieces yet? And he's like, no, positionally, you're done. You know? And I was like, oh, okay.
That's great. Look, you're in a club now with great history, great tradition. I've been in Italy since 1973, so 52 years, you know. So I started out in Bologna in 73, and then I came to Milan in 78. But, you know, a club that's had great coaches, you know, like Neil Savino, like Nereo Rocco was in the 60s, and Arrigo Sacchi, who's a legend now, Allegri, but also a team with great stars, Johnny Rivera, who's closing in on 80 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I saw him play near the end of his career, and he actually won a championship. Boy, then Franco Baresi, you know, Paolo Maldini, and these guys. So, you know, I'm sure you know the names, you've heard about them. The invincible Milan team and everything. So Kaká, these guys, they won 7. Shevchenko, they won 7 like European Player of the Year, a Golden Foot or whatever they call the award. You know. You look like a guy that just might be part of that tradition in the future. Do you give any thought to that?
To be honest, no, I don't give thought to that. I look up to those guys. I think when you walk into Milanello, you see their names, you see their pictures, you see the pictures of them lifting trophies. They're inspirations to me. So for me, I'll give anything for this team, and I want to win. I want to win, and I want to be a part of the Milan history forever. That's definitely something that inspires me.
What about getting back into the Champions League? Okay, that's a big ambition this year, I can imagine, for you guys. So, is that on your list of things you want to check off right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's our main objective this year. I mean, a club like Milan, for us not being able to play in the competition this year, it hurts. You know, I think we absolutely, I know we have a team strong enough to be there and compete and do well. So that's our objective, and we want to be there next season.
Well, when I first came here to Milan as coach of Olimpia, they were not in any European Cup. The owner didn't want to go unless they were in the Cup of Champions, which was called at that time. And so we didn't play, but we said, to play in Europe, we have to win the title, so we go in it, because only the champion went into the Champions League the next year, you know, the Cup of Champions. And that became an objective. And we started to win, and when we started going to the Cup. So it's there. You might not, like you said, you might not be thinking about it every day, or you know, being a legend in a minute, but just thinking about doing it. Let's do this today. Let's win the day, and see where we can go from here. Coming back to your, like you said, one game at a time. But the one game that's coming up is, as we said, Juventus in Turin, at Juventus Stadium. You know, which is quite a place. So, what are your thoughts going into that game?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest teams in Italy. I think it's always a bit of a rivalry, obviously, between us. So for me, just a great challenge going there. I remember being there, playing there last season. It's always a tough game. So I think we have to continue to do some of the things we've been doing. Just finding a way to win and fighting against these guys. It's not going to be easy. We know that. So we want to come out with a good result, but we're looking forward to it. You know, when I was coaching basketball, we'd come to a game like that and going on the road, maybe in the European Cup or something. And I used to tell them, you know, play hard every play and respect every possession every time you have the ball. You know, don't lose it foolishly. You know, just respect possession of the ball and play your hardest. You know. A great basketball coach in the USA, a guy I knew, Norm Sloan. He coached North Carolina State for many years. You know, he told a clinic. He said, I was at a clinic where he talked. He said, you know what I asked my team to do? Play as hard as you can. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have, like you said, tough moments. But what you can't
compromise. He said, you got to play hard. If you play hard, you can overcome, like you said, a bad moment, a bad game, something like that, you know. So you're on the right track with them. Well, Christian, thanks for this interview. Thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely.
As a fellow American, I'm very proud of you. Okay, you know, I'm so happy for your success. You know, so I want to wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was an honor to meet you. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, nice to talk to you.
Amici sportivi, questo è Christian Pulisic. Ok, ciao a tutti.